I'm going to post a link on Facebook too. Like I said, it'll take a minute for people to join in. Let's see. All right, I posted the link for people to click and join on Facebook. Hopefully. So that takes us there.
The link for people.
Yep, it took us there. Oh, we got somebody watching. Maybe that was me. Oh, man, the people that I was going to invite. Says we got somebody in here. Hey, 351 Cleveland is here. James, where'd your face go? Oh, goodness. Hey, James. Well, I had him here, and I don't know what's going on now. Yo, James. Oh, it took a while to get this set up so that he could hear me, and I had him on screen and everything. 351, could you give me a thumbs up if you can see me? Well, there's James again, but I don't have any sound from him.
Hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right.
All right, good.
All right. I'm just I'm finishing lighting my fireplace.
Oh, I got you, because you disappeared on me. Okay, Cleveland can hear us okay.
It went off.
So 351 Cleveland's in here with us. We need to get a few more people. All right, audio and video is good on Cleveland sign. That's awesome. Maybe I guess some of my
yeah. See, I'm trying to light me up. I'm trying to light a fire.
All right. Well, we got 7 people in here watching us, so get your fire lit so I can have you tell some stories.
I am. Should be going now.
Good to go?
Just give me a second. I'm lighting right now. I'm getting this going.
Good to go?
I had to go in early and the damn thing went out.
Right on. I got us playing on my computer too, so I can actually read the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my bitch.
Hey, folks who are watching, chime in on the chat there so we can see who we've got. We're up to 11 people, James.
Cool.
I'll tell you what, let's start this off right and break in these folks to just who you are. As a guest, I've got James Payton, a good friend of mine. He's local, lives about, I don't know, half an hour from me. We do a lot of fishing and bullshitting. James is quite character. And just to prove that, I'm going to start this out by having him tell you a story about his son and their dog whose tail stuck up in the air. James, go ahead. Tell your story. This is awesome.
Oh, you mean about Jeremiah when he was little?
Yeah, to just tell it.
All right. Well, Jeremiah was little, and anyhow, he was in the family room, and I was watching him. Anyhow, Maya's had half his brain removed, so he was born with something called Sturge-Weber syndrome. So anyhow, we were sitting in there, and I was watching him. He was looking around, and we had a dog. It was a Basenji. Well, that Basenji had one of them tails that kind of curled around, and I was sitting there watching Jeremiah. And anyhow, next thing I know, I look at Maya, and he looks at the dog, and he looks at the dog's, looks back again, looks at the dog's butt. Next thing I know, I see Maya take off with his finger sticking out, and he hits that dog right square in the butt, and that dog's eyes lit up. Man, I could have seen that dog he was surprised.
Yeah, Hey, Jeremiah wasn't surprised though, was he?
Oh no, that dog didn't know what to do. I thought he was gonna take off for the moon.
Well, I would too. I mean, first of all, Jeremiah can only use his left arm, so I imagine that left arm is strong, and I imagine he got that dog pretty good with it.
Oh yeah, he hit him pretty good. And that dog, it was silly. I just laughed. Oh, I laughed. There's no way I was gonna stop him. I seen this. I seen the wheels going in his head when it was going on.
Tell me that freaking Andy laughed on your shirt.
I hate to see it. There's Jeremiah right there.
There's Jeremiah.
Where
Everybody
there's
needs to be. I've got Jeremiah on our thumbnail too.
where there's me, there's Jeremiah usually.
That's the way it works. Hey, Jeremiah, bud.
Hey.
Right there. Everybody needs a Jeremiah. That's one good person right there.
Oh yeah, he helps me with everything.
He does. Won't let his dad do anything. After his dad had a couple of strokes, Jeremiah just started protecting him.
Oh yeah, he helps me.
Now,
Hey, Mike, turn that light on back here.
You heard James say that Jeremiah had half his brain removed, and I mean, there's videos about that when he was little. It's actually a pretty amazing story. And Jeremiah can only use his left arm, even though he's naturally right-handed. But I'll tell you, that left arm is strong, man. I was falling out of the boat one time, and he grabbed hold of my calf, and I didn't know if he was trying to save me or if he was trying to break my leg.
No.
He steadied me though, kept me in the boat, probably kept me from busting my head.
Oh yeah, he did really good. He's really good at helping people. That's his main thing. He just wants to help everybody.
Hey, I'll tell you guys too. James is an excellent semi-retired boat mechanic. So if you got boat questions, throw them up in a chat, and we'll see if he can help you out a little bit.
Yeah, I know a little bit about him. I've been doing them for like 30 years.
Don't expect him to come work on them, but he might have some good advice. So James, one of the first stories he told me, it just cracked me up, was when he was little. Well, first of all, James, tell him how Jeremiah got his name.
Well, when Jeremiah got his name, I always wanted, my favorite two things was Daniel Boone and Jeremiah Johnson. I love that movie. So we named him we named him Jeremiah Daniel. So anyhow, we was at church and they had his dedication at church, and the preacher says, "Oh, I love that name, Jeremiah. He's named after two prophets." I go, "Oh hell no, he ain't." Just like that. I said, "He's named after Daniel Boone, and he's named after Jeremiah Johnson." And oh, that preacher didn't know what to say. He said, "Oh my," he said, "you could have just let me go with it, couldn't you?" I go, "Hell no, I'm not. I'm in church. I can't lie." So,
well, so when James was little, I'm not sure what were you, James? About 9 when you decided to be Daniel Boone?
I was in 3rd grade.
All right. So I'm not going to tell a story for you because I can't do it the same way. So
I know what you're talking about.
Ventured out to be Daniel Boone.
Yeah, we was all just kind of talking one day. I was watching Daniel Boone. That was my favorite thing, and I'd always watch that every day. So anyhow, I was sitting there and watching it. Well, one day I got in a big idea that, well, anyhow, we lived out in the country out toward a little town called Fountain Town. And anyhow, I was out there and I got in my head one day that I didn't need to stay at the house. I was going to be Daniel Boone. So I took my dad's shotgun. He had a 12 gauge single shot, and I headed out to the woods and went out in the woods. Well, they found out I was gone for 3 days. And I ended up shooting squirrels and eating fish and eating corn out of the cornfield out there. They was looking for me for all over. And I was only about 2 miles away in the woods out there. Built me a little fort out there, and I came back. Oh my God, I got a really bad ass whooping, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, but I've always imagined that when your dad went back to work and was talking to his friends, and everybody wanted to know if he was okay, he had to be bragging about your adventure.
Yeah, I gained weight. I think I ate so good. I was eating squirrels and corn. I can't eat no more of that, and catching fish, bluegills out of the creek.
Yeah, wasn't there a cornfield you were right next to? You kept getting corn and
Yep, I was getting corn and all that. Plus, there's berries out there. I was eating berries. I was eating all kinds of stuff. I didn't care. I was Daniel Boone.
Yeah, so there you go, the Daniel Boone story, which is just one of my all-time favorites. We got people joining, James, so I'm typing away, telling them hello and so forth.
Hello.
So, do Do you dare tell a story about Reagan and her adventures in the yard talking to the neighbor?
Oh well, yeah, my little girl, she's more of a little
Now,
boy.
before you do this, remember she takes after her mom. She might beat your ass.
Yeah, that's true. Well, she's at work right now. She took off and
Let
went
him
to
have
work.
it. Dick. Go for it.
But yeah, we was out there and we was looking for her somewhere. And anyhow, Anita was planting flowers. That's what was going on. And anyhow, she was out there, and all of a sudden, she looked over and she heard Reagan saying, "Hey, hello, Kathy." And that's the neighbor across the street. Well, Reagan was out there pooping in the front yard, waving at the neighbors as he's out there. She's about 2 years old.
You gotta
3.
remember, guys. James is half animal, so his kids have that example to live by.
Except for Jeremiah. Jeremiah, he's pretty mellow. So
Yeah, Jeremiah's got a good heart.
yeah, he does.
So okay, so that leads to another story. When you're on your hunting adventure and you had to go to the bathroom and you had your coveralls on.
Oh yeah, well we were out down hunting. We were hunting down in Putnamville. We was at a little trailer, and anyhow we was down there hunting down there in Putnamville off the power line, and so we were up all night. It was about 1987, I think, is the year that IU won the national tournament.
That'd be 87.
About 87. So we were down there. We was drinking Jack Daniels and Jim Beam, I think, all night in the trailer. Then we went hunting afterwards. So I woke up and we went hunting. I shot a deer that morning too, I think. But anyhow, I went out there and all of a sudden I got the whiskey shits. It was terrible. So I was sitting there. So I had to pull my coveralls down and take care of business. So I kept walking down through the woods a little bit later, and I kept smelling shit, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So all of a sudden, I kind of turned around and I flipped my hat up. Well, I'd shit my coverall in the hat. And I was carrying it around. I had it in my hair, had it everywhere. It was terrible. That was a really bad day. God, it was terrible.
So you were a shithead for real.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was nuts.
Now, folks, I got to tell you guys, you've heard a few stories. I've been hearing these for a few years now, and he does not run out of this stuff. James is irregular. They definitely broke the mold. Not to his wife's happiness. She gets sick of his shit, man.
Yeah, I like to poke the bear a bit.
You do poke the bear a little bit, and maybe that's why you do the bear dance. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
Hell,
James,
I don't care. You know how I am. I just don't care.
James is always just like a half an inch away from meeting his maker.
Oh yeah, she's
Don't get
threatened
me
to kill.
wrong, I've met everybody in James' family. They're good folks, every one of them. She don't have the patience for him sometimes. He works that last nerve.
Oh yeah, I ain't been hit by a lamp for a long time, so I'm doing good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you made the mistake of replacing it with a deer antler lamp.
Yes, I did.
Well,
You gave her a weapon.
Yeah, but then she thought about it. She says she hit me with that one. She might do prison time, so she ain't hit me with that one.
I got a feeling she'd wind up running to prison.
Yep, probably.
She would line everybody out and let them know who was the prison boss.
Yeah, one day she says it might be worth it.
Might be a dream come true eventually.
Oh yeah, that's what she says.
You better be careful she don't Lorraine and Bob at your ass.
Yeah, I hope not. That'd be terrible. Especially with all these dogs around here. It'd be sausages. That'd be terrible.
Yeah. John Wayne Bobbitt was a prick. I met him, didn't like him. I about beat his ass.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
That's another story. This is not my story night. This is James's because I'm not funny the way James is. My humor is dry. James's is anything but dry.
I'm totally normal though. I keep telling you that.
Yeah, you keep telling me that, and I've not heard one single person agree with you ever.
Everybody knows me. I mean, everybody knows me. Says there's always a big story, so they always got stories about me for stuff I used to do when I was little or younger.
The thing about it is it's just not you. Your friends tell the stories too because you had witnesses.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of witnesses.
Mikey would be good.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine tell me the other day that they was down in I guess a bunch of my buddies I went to school with, they was all down there in Kentucky riding their 4-wheelers and sitting around the fire. He said they talked about me for about 2-3 hours, the stories I had. So
I really don't see that at all.
I guess that was pretty crazy.
Now, just so you guys know, James is not a bad fisherman either. Hey, he's not up to my pay grade, but he does pretty well.
Yeah, I hear you.
here's the reason I say that, guys. James gets real competitive when we're out on the lake, and I don't feel competitive about it at all. But you can bet he keeps track of who's catching what.
Well, my wife says I'm competitive at everything, so.
Well, probably in bed too. I'm guessing you're always finished first.
I hear
You're one of those people who are like, I'm done, I won.
you. I'm done. I want. Hey, there you go.
Surprising that you're not wasn't born a fish.
Yeah, no. Jeremiah says it's surprising I wasn't born a fish
Or deer.
or deer. Yeah.
I'm
We
just
was out.
surprised you're not wearing a cap.
We was out deer hunting earlier, and anyhow, we had to made an emergency trip out to where we hunt, and there was the wind got up a little bit today. Didn't know about it. Me and Maya had to go take the trailer over, and we had a shed get blown away by that hurricane that hit up here. So we had to cut it up, and it was on the trailer, and we had to go get some firewood. So we had to run that over to Morgantown. So we ran it over there. Then we came back here and got a rick of wood and stacked that up. And I looked at my trail camera, and all of a sudden, our blind that was sitting out in our field was gone. And I seen it rolling across the field, and I got, oh shit, we gotta go get that blind. So we took off and headed out there, and we grabbed the guns just in case we seen a deer or something. And
going where I think you're going, you guys are gonna die. He is not. Turns out he's not the stealthy hunter he thinks he is.
Well, we were just sitting there. Well, me and Jeremiah both got our handicap license, so that kind of helps a little bit. So we can hunt in the truck if we want to. So we were kind of sitting there, and anyhow, after we got the blind, we found it. It would almost make it to the creek. If we'd let it go any longer, it would have been in the creek. So, but we went down and got that put up and put it in our car. And I said, well, we'll just drive around here and ease around here and sit up here and watch this. We got a turnip field out there. We're watching the turnip field. And anyhow, I said, we're going to be real stealthy right here, Jeremiah. And I was sitting there watching the gun, had my gun out the window where them deer cross up there, and I'm waiting for one to come in. And I kind of leaned over a little bit. When I did, I'll be damned, I hit the horn. And he goes, real stealthy, Dad. Andy was with me on the phone. He just like, did you just do what I think you did? I said, yeah.
I gotta just imagine those deer were all sitting in the woods just laughing their asses off.
Oh yeah, I'm sure of that. It's funny because when before we got on this live, I looked up and that big old 12 pointer's out in the field right now. He's waiting until dark every damn night, a little bit after dark. He'll mess up sooner or later, but
either he'll mess up or you'll just shoot in the dark.
Yeah, there you go. Something's gonna happen.
So I'll tell you guys how James and I and Jeremiah met. I'm on Facebook. I was on some fishing pages on Facebook, and I was talking on Facebook about how I was going to be done fishing with the year that year because it was getting cold. And the truth is, I suffer from seasonal affective disorder, and it really hammers me. But because my boat sits on the lake, I always have to pull my boat out in a timely manner before the water freezes. And I know where James hit me up on Facebook and said, hey, we fish during the winter. We just trailer our boat and you're welcome to go with us. We'd never talked before. Turns out he fishes lemon quite a bit. And that's how we met, because they literally, next time they went fishing, they invited me along, and it went from there. I mean, just, they were doing a good deed, and they still to this day, they check on me if they haven't heard from me.
Well, if I remember right, that first day we come to get you, I think we broke a spring on the trailer, pulling our boat over there.
We did.
And on the way there, and I think we didn't get to show up the first day because I had to get the boat towed home, and me and Maya ran up to Rule King and got us a new spring and changed the spring on the trailer.
It was on the 22nd it was on the November 22nd of 22 when that happened.
Yeah, November 22nd of 22 when we met Andy.
So let me tell you guys something about Jeremiah. They removed half his brain, and I swear to God, they put in a hard drive. His memory is one of the most amazing things that you'll ever encounter. Anything you mention, he'll start rattling off dates to you. Sometimes because he's got pictures of them. Sometimes it's because he just remembers it right off the bat. It's nuts. I mean, he can get a job as a cloud storage.
Yeah, well, we do a few boats, and I ask him what we did this week, and he takes pictures of everything after we're done. So he gets his little phone out and looks, and he's like, "Dad, we did this, and this," and looks at the phone and says, "We did it on this date, blah 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 blah," and he keeps that. So
Time you didn't know I was doing that.
yeah, I didn't know he does. It's funny because after we get a job done, next thing he does, he just takes a picture of the boat.
Well,
Then he says we're done.
you don't even have to get out of the truck.
Nah, he goes down and does most of it anymore, and I just most of the time I just do the billing. Goes down and does most of the work. So
Yeah, so James and Anita, they they went through quite the ordeal when Jeremiah was little, and he was having seizures, and it was gonna kill him. They had to make a really big decision about the surgery, and I mean, I can't really go into the trials they went through because it's their story, and I know some of it, but I can't. There's no way I can portray it and put the emotion with it. But here's the thing: they've never let. He's a guy with special needs, but calling him disabled is almost unfair. They have made him, or they've let him rather. It's not made him. They've let him overcome those obstacles, and with just one arm, it's amazing the amount of stuff he can do. It really is.
yeah, one arm and half a brain.
Yeah, the half a brain thing. It's almost like they took out the half that make people evil, and like I said, they turned it into story.
I never had a little behavior issues. So I don't get that.
Yeah, he does really good.
But I'm trying to think of some of the other funny stories from. Oh God, I've heard so many now. They're running together. Jeremiah, what's a good story for him to tell?
Can't get dirty because we're online.
Well, that rules out a lot of stuff then.
Although you have had a lot of.
I mean, you've already told 2 poop stories. I mean,
Oh hell, that is what it is. Everybody poops.
not me.
Well, everybody just about. I'm jealous.
You're jealous. You wish you had my setup.
Yeah, sometimes
Oh,
I wouldn't have to get off the boat.
here. For anybody who don't know, 15 years ago, I went to the hospital with I woke up a month later, and I've since then I've lived with a colostomy pouch. It saved my life, but it's made life. It's kind of insulated me a little bit, kind of made me a hermit. But that's what we're talking about when we're talking about James wishes he had my setup.
Yeah, but you are. I mean, you're a really nice guy, and I mean, me and Maya met you, and it's like we dealt with special needs kids. We've dealt with all kinds of other stuff. Everybody has issues, so you just deal with it and go with it. So
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. It makes you you.
Yeah.
So Robert Alexander asked me a question here. I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about. Asking me if I can. I don't know if you can do it again. And yes, I'll be in a little late night. I'll be in the end. They have to get the idea on my way minutes from my parents. I'm not quite sure, Robert, what you're talking about. So if you can type in some more information, I'll be able to answer your question. And while we're at it, anybody got any fishing questions between James and I? But I'm looking in here. We've got 351 Cleveland. He does a lot of fishing. Stacy from Big Fishing Adventures does a lot of fishing. We got Mike Fishing. I'm going to assume he does a lot of fishing.
Yeah, the good thing is when I took Andy to go get Andy. Andy never fished with live scope before.
No, that turned out to be an expensive trip for me.
So he's been fishing with me all winter long using that live scope. And when he first met me, he said, "I don't need all that. I don't want no part of that thing. Something I'll never have. I don't want it." Well, we fished all winter long, and I kind of taught him how to use it a little bit, watching me. And come spring, when he was going to fish by himself, he goes, "God darn it, I got to buy me one of them damn things." He goes, "Because I don't think I can go without fishing with it."
Yeah, and there I was next spring. James took his boat home with me, took my boat home with him, set up my live scope, done some work on the boat, brought it back to me, put it in the water, and I've been a computer fisherman since.
Yep, you never stop. Kind of helps though when you go out and fill the live wells. I mean, all winter long, it kind of makes a big difference.
Well, if I'm being honest about it, with the live scope, I really don't. I've always caught a lot of fish, always.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, we always have too.
we always have too. It makes it a little bit better having that.
Well, the live scope saves me time.
Yeah.
Now if I pull up to a spot and there's no fish there, I can just leave and go to a new spot. And it is fun to watch the fish in their environment. Really is just it's a tool. Like a lot. I mean, tool like your rod and reel. I mean, and everybody uses it differently. I don't watch it like James loves to watch the bait go down and watch the fish eat it. I just like to see the fish, see that my lure's going where it's supposed to, and then I take my eyes off of it and I wait for the tug. I don't want to lose that feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I actually watch that screen all the time, and I make sure I put it on their nose, and I mean I watch them eat it. I mean once that I'm watching that live, I get so engrossed in that thing. I don't the world could blow up around me. And I'd never know.
It's true. It is true.
Huh.
Yeah.
Except for my comments with funny stories going through my head and me telling them as I'm fishing, but that's about it.
I'm also answering questions as people are asking them here online, James. So if I turn my head and I don't talk, it's because I'm typing.
Oh, you're good.
So, but Jeremiah, what you need to tell me another good story about your dad. I mean, I know them. I just need a start somewhere.
No, I'm trying to think of one that would be good.
You got to be careful, though.
Yeah, I know. That's why that's the thing.
Yeah, because I'm not very appropriate.
Yeah.
That's
why I said, that's why I'm like, there's a lot of stories, but I'm trying to think of one that would be appropriate enough to where it wouldn't be as bad on that.
What the hell?
Yeah, I put him in timeout for a day. We'll be done with this.
Yeah, what in the world's that all about?
Talking about the guy that said it's a pedophile live stream.
Yeah, I don't understand all that, but the weird thing is, I came home today or yesterday actually, and my wife asked me. She said that my granddaughter, she's Luna, she's 2 years old, and anyhow, she goes to daycare, and they wanted to find someone that would put on the Santa Claus suit and be Santa Claus this year.
Do that.
I'm gonna do it. That's me. I'm gonna do it. And I think we're gonna get Jeremiah. We're gonna get Jeremiah an elf suit, so he's gonna be an elf because he's always with me. He's gonna be with me too.
Might as well.
After that guy said pedophile live stream, I'm almost loath to say this, but as long as you know the difference between ho 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 and hose.
There you go.
But anyway, so I seen Jim here saying that his brother caught over a 13-inch crappie on this last Sunday. That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fish and lemon. I'll wait for him to type that in. There's a delay between what we say and what they hear.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a slight delay. We were out there on the lake one time. I think this was last summer. And there was a conservation officer driving on the causeway, pulling people on boats. It was too windy for him to get out on their little John boat, I guess.
We're in my boat.
Yeah.
We were in his boat, and it was really windy, so the waves were pretty close. And this conservation officer stopped and got out of his truck and asked us to pull over closer to the rocks. Well, any closer, and we would have surely crashed into the riprap. And James has a very expensive trolling motor on that boat, not to mention his live scope, transducer, and all that stuff on the front. He wanted
so
James had to politely explain to him that he wasn't very comfortable getting his boat any closer to the rocks.
No.
The station officer, he was writing our names down. He didn't, but he acted like it was one of the dumbest. I mean, I'm pretty pro law enforcement because my
people on the road when they were leaving.
Law enforcement things.
Nah, he was just being lazy. Didn't want to get out of the water. That's all that was.
Yeah, Jim, his brother caught that 13-inch crappie in lemon. That's great.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
I've been catching some better crappie lately. Not down by the dam. It's still a lot of. I mean, the dam's loaded. I mean, my God, it's walls of fish, but they're not big. I do think, Jim, that they're going to go deep next week. the water temperature is going to drop because the temperatures are dropping. And we've already seen, like, around the edges of the deep area there around the dam. James was fishing it then, and he was landing one right after the other around the shorelines, around the tree falls and stuff in the brush. And I was doing that as well. And that's usually a clue that they're in transition. And the big fish just haven't really come in down there yet. But I think next week, what do you think, James? Next week, the bigger fish will move in deep.
As soon as that water temperature gets down to 40s,
40, then
You
yeah.
think
they'll
it'll take
be on.
40? I think it'll take more like I thought it'd take the low 50s.
No,
I think 40 something. Last year when we were catching them, it was a lot colder. And anyhow, I remember last year at Thanksgiving, I was cleaning fish when I had to go wait an hour before I could leave because I was cleaning so many damn fish before we went
that
to
wasn't last
Thanksgiving
year,
dinner.
Dad. That
Was
was
it 2 years ago?
It was the year.
Oh, 2 years ago, I
yeah,
guess.
the year before last year.
I thought it was last year, but it wasn't
Nope,
last year.
the year before last year.
So there you go. James thinks it'll be when the water temps reaches the 40s. I think
But
we're
we
looking
were
late next
we
week.
were starting to see shad. Yeah, we were starting to see shad when we were down there in the deep water, balls of them. So usually when the crappie are in there hard, you'll see tons of shad. I mean, they'll literally, the bottom of the lake will be solid shad in areas where those big fish are at. So I didn't see that. I just seen pods here and there. So, and they were just starting to get there. So, like I said, once you start seeing literally on your live scope, you can just see nothing but solid shad, like the bottom, usually the bottom 5 feet up. It's just, and those fish have to have a certain temperature or they'll die. So if it gets too cold for them, it'll kill them. That's why they wait.
I seen 52 earlier in the week, and then when I was out yesterday, it was 56. I think it's just where at in the lake you're at.
Yeah.
I were both fishing down by the dam and probably not 100 feet apart. He was seeing 52, and he was seeing 56, and I was seeing 52.
Yeah.
So, and we got the exact same equipment on our live scope and all that stuff. So, the difference had to be legitimate, not just a misreading.
Yeah, unless my transducer's sitting a little bit deeper than yours or shallow or something.
That could be. Can be honest, yours is on a pole.
Yeah, yours is on a pole. Mine's up. Get down. Yeah. Just had a lab jump up in my lap.
Neil.
But his is on yours is on the pole, his is on the trolling motor.
Yeah, mine's on the pole and yours is on the trolling motor, so mine might be deeper on the pole.
Yeah, I want mine pole mounted for next year. The trolling motor just is when you're trying to navigate in the wind and you got to have your trolling motor pointed in a certain direction for the fish, it really gets in the way.
Yeah.
Nice that pole mount where you can just turn your transducer and not the trolling motor.
Yeah, and then plus the biggest plus is you can look behind the boat, off to the side of the boat when you're looking, and you can stay pinpointing on the fish a lot easier than you can with the trolling motor. I've tried it both ways, and I like the pole a lot better.
Yeah, that's the direction I want to go.
Yeah, the first year that we had live scope, we had them.
Yeah, the first year I had it on a what was that trolling motor we had? Vortex. Yeah, I had a 101 pound trolling. Yeah, it was 112. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Trolling motor, thrust trolling motor is a 36 volt system, and anyhow, I had it on this boat. We run a 21 foot Stratus, so is what we run 201 Pro.
Yeah.
So it's a big boat, so it takes a lot to pull it around. But we went to an Alterex now, and it's an 80-pound Alterex. And that Alterex pulls almost as good as the Vortex did. So,
hey guys, like I said, James is a fountain of knowledge about this stuff. Him talking about watch the birds to find the fish. But here's one I found interesting that I'd never heard before this year. James, tell me how you know when the catfish are when the best time is to catfish up against shorelines.
Oh, at Lemon, the daggone blackbirds are a giveaway. When the catfish are down there and they're starting to lay eggs up on the rocks, because catfish they have to disperse their eggs and they get up and push them out on the rocks. So when that happens, you'll start seeing blackbirds along the banks. And when you see the blackbirds, take a night crawler and a bobber, set it about 3 foot and throw up on them rocks and they'll just smack it.
Yeah, I had never heard that before because apparently the blackbirds are there to eat the eggs.
Yep, blackbirds eat the eggs. Yeah, blackbirds, they're tattletales. They're telling the story when you get there.
I mean, I'm not a cat fisherman. I've caught them when I've been crappie fishing, and when I think about it, some of my
Yeah,
caught
a little bit. That's the
like
that
that.
day was stuck and a friggin' they quite
Yeah, we seen some really big fish down there, some big flatheads. Not this year, but last year we seen a lot of really big flatheads down
Hey,
there. And Jeremiah,
Jeremiah, Jeremiah's photo bombing you.
yeah, that's all right. He's my buddy.
No, always good to see Jeremiah. The women go crazy over him.
Oh yeah, he's got Peter Frampton hair, 1976.
Oh, I guess, baby, he loves your ways.
Yeah, there you go.
That's another thing. James is an absolute music fanatic. Start talking about bands that are famous, and suddenly he knows them. He'll tell you, "Oh yeah, I'm friends with their drummer. Or, I knew so and so." It's crazy.
Yeah, I used to go to a lot of music festivals, so I know a lot of those guys in the bands. So it makes it pretty fun.
Yeah, so I got this was supposed to be story time. I got to think about. I can't. I should have written some of these stories down to get things rolling because there's so many.
Yeah, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of stories. I just trying to think of one that would be.
Well, I got one.
Huh.
Minding my own business, and I got a text from James, and it was a photo. They were working on a boat, and all this photo was Jeremy upside down, legs straight up in the air,
Oh,
with his
yeah.
with his pants around his hips and just his underwear butt hanging out. So James had him working on something.
I was actually changing a plug, actually trying to get a plug out of the bilge area.
Yeah, he was trying to get a plug out of the bilge area, and when he got down in there, he got stuck in the bilge, and he was up there, and his pants fell down. So he was down there with his underwear sticking up out of the water, trying to get up out, and I was laughing so hard. I took a picture and sent to Andy. I go, "Look at this kid! Look at how he works.
Now,
He worked so hard, he worked out of his pants."
Jeremiah was asking him for help to get unstuck, and instead he takes a picture and starts sending it to people.
Oh yeah, I was laughing my head off. I was cracking up. I said that was a dick move.
Donald Trump's here. How about that red wave? Yeah, we're not doing politics in here, man. We're anglers. We transcend politics. We go for humor.
Politics is illegal in this chat.
Yeah, we're about over the politics BS anymore. It just all it does is get people all pissed off, and it ain't worth listening to.
Yep, friendships ended, marriages ended,
Yep.
and nobody's going to change their mind about it no matter how much you talk.
Nope.
Just get through it and realize that no matter who's in office, it really won't change any of our lives that much unless you've got millions of dollars.
Yep, pretty much.
So I'm not anti-government. I'm just kind of anti-rich.
I just seen go fishing and say hell with it.
Yep, there you go. Well, that's what I say. Politics aren't going to bother me unless they come out to Lake Lemon, and then it's all bets are off.
Oh, one good thing is I read today that they said all the dredging is done on Lemon.
No, it's not.
That's what they said today in the on the chat.
I told Dad the same way. I'm like, yeah, I don't.
They said it's totally done. They said
Really?
they're done with dredging right now. Yep, that's what I heard.
Well, maybe they'll drop my damn taxes again. 150% increase is stupid.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting because I figured they're going to be dredging in there for the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, they've been sending out those questionnaires asking people, should we dredge forever? Should we keep raising your taxes? Should we do fundraising? I hope if they're done dredging, then I hope they go back to reasonable fees on things like fireworks.
Yeah.
$25 a car to go watch. Now they put on a great fireworks show, but $25 a carload when just a few years ago it was $7. That's nuts.
Yeah.
People go to fireworks as an affordable way to spend some family time. And honestly, I realize $25 don't seem like a lot of money to a lot of people, but for a lot of families, they just can't do that. Not for just entertainment.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's just all lakes have their little things. Like I live down here real close to Cordray Sweetwater, and they're all up in arms because last night the board banned wake boats off the lake, and all these people are losing their minds. So they kind of did it. They told them they were going to do it, and they thought they wasn't going to do it. And and these are all doctors and lawyers and all that down there on Sweetwater and Cordray. So they're all losing their minds because they want to have their fancy, $200,000 ski boat on the lake, and they don't want anybody else to use the lake, basically. So
Hey, folks, anybody who's still watching, if you haven't hit that like button, please do, because it drives the algorithm. Even if you don't like it, go ahead and hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. I keep telling James he needs to get his own channel started, but he wants to call it Last Boat Off the Ramp. I think he should call it Foul Mouth Fishing, but not my choice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It don't matter. I don't know what we're going to do. But anyhow, we're going to do something, I think, me and Jeremiah.
Well, listen, we'll be out there fishing together, and he don't even realize it. He mumbles his curse words when he's not talking, he mumbles it. He don't even know he's doing it.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Oh, quite a bit.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to make special edits on my videos, replace sound bites and drop the sound and put in little beeps and stuff like that to cover some of his language. I made
you a good editor.
What's that?
I made you a good editor.
Yeah, you did help with that. I finally gave up on it. I only edit the most severe stuff now.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When I say he curses, it's nothing. It's not negative. You won't hear any racism or anything like that from him because he's not built that way. He just likes bad words. That's all.
Yeah.
Bad words and boobies. That's James's motto.
Oh yeah, I like to cuss the fish on live scope a lot too.
He does do that. He does. Yeah, I talk to the fish, but I talk at them. He has conversations with them. He scolds them.
Come on, you little bastard, bite it. Come on, eat it, damn it, eat it.
Yeah, I've heard it 1,000 times. Eat it, you bastard, eat it. Trying to talk him into it.
Andy has his money too, though now.
Oh yeah, we have fun.
Well, I've always cussed a lot, but generally speaking, and people when I'm around people I don't know, I don't. But with James, it's a giveaway because he was right away. It was pretty obvious what his language is like, so I didn't have to watch mine.
Well, hell, I told you I was Cartman.
You are Cartman. There's no doubt. Absolutely, Eric Cartman.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird that between us in this friendship, I'm the straight act. You know, Eric Lewis, I'm Dean Martin.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not used to being the square one.
Oh, we have fun though. I mean, we're out. We always have a good time.
Yes, we do.
You and
me and you trying to outfish each other, and Maya's back here catching fish, laughing the whole time.
I don't worry about outfishing you. You're the one that worries about that. I know I'm going to outfish you. That's not. I
hear you.
You're the one that worries about it.
I hear you.
Talking about how many more you caught when I've got video of it and I've got proof.
I hear you.
Well, you are a better late fall fisherman than I because I've normally not done it. I only started doing that when you guys started inviting me along. So
I like to open water fish where you don't so much. So
no,
I find a lot. I'll hone in on the fish in open water a lot more than you will.
Well, up around docks and banks, I feel like the fish are a better captive audience. But the truth is, a lot of times the bigger fish are out on open water.
Yep.
You just have to work at them more.
Yeah, me and Jeremiah like to go out and fish the bends in the creek out in the middle of the lake where no one's at, and we know where there's some foundations and some old bridges. And
we're doing pleasure boaters.
Yeah, unless the yahoos are out there, but.
For a year you were talking about fishing the flats, and I didn't want to admit that I didn't know where the hell they were, and finally had to ask you, okay, where are the flats?
Yeah, there's a lot of flat area on Lemon. It's got a lot of 5 to 6, 7 foot of water, 8 foot of water out in there. 5, 6, 7, 8 foot. It's that kind of average like 5 down on the flats. So
those fish about live scope is you learn a lot more about the environment.
Yeah, and it's just like us. We hardly ever use our big motor when we're out fishing. We use our trolling motor. We're scanning the whole time we're out there looking to see different structure and things on the lake. So
yeah, sometimes you need a picture of the trails on your live scope screen that shows everything.
Me and Maya had to erase them because there was no water left.
See if I can get my phone.
Yeah, Maya's got a picture on his phone where we took a picture and it was nothing but trails. It was just solid trails on the whole lake.
Oh, no. Here's a story I think you should tell. Now, James has got a friend that's the dude's a deer hunter, the most serious deer hunter you'll ever hear about. And this last weekend, he shot one deer and got it, killed it immediately. Then he shot the doe, and I'm gonna let you take it from there, James.
Well, first, a little backstory. The guy's a little bit older than I am, and me and him's been hunting forever together. So he's a pretty good friend of mine. He's an old trapper, and he trapped forever. And he's a landscaper, was a landscaper growing up. So he's been outside his whole life. He builds lands, he does that, and he does deck work and stuff. But he's a big deer hunter, and I got him hooked on deer hunting. He never killed a deer for a longest time, and I let him hunt my stand one time, and after that, it was on. I mean, this year he killed. I think he said he
14.
killed 14 in between Kentucky and Indiana. But he was out. He's got to have shoulder. He had to have heart surgery 3 years ago, and he had to replace the valve. And then this year, he has to have surgery on his shoulder. He's got a dislocated shoulder, and he has diabetes, so they couldn't do the surgery until deer season, after deer season. So he's in a rush to kill his deer. So anyhow, he was out, and he called me the other day, and he said, "Well, I ain't seen a deer all last weekend during opening season. He had to kill two more to get his quota, so as many as he could kill." So anyway, he calls me the other day and he says, "Well, finally got my 14." I go, "You did?" He said, "Yeah, because I shot a buck." And he sent me a picture of the buck, and it was a nice, I think it's a big 8 or 10. And anyhow, he was out hunting. He was hunting with his son's gun. He's got this some kind of Nosler gun. I don't remember what the caliber is, but he shot it at 575 yards across the field he was hunting in. And anyhow, the guy's a nut. So he was out. He shot that deer, and on the way, he seen a doe out there. So he shot the doe, and he hit it right in the leg, and and it buckled the leg, but it couldn't move. So he's really bad about hand to hand combat with deer running off. So he runs out in that field and gets out to that field, out to the deer, and somehow or another he's got a strap with him. He didn't bring the gun with him,
Probably
so
a
the deer's still alive, trying to get him with
right.
the hoof. And anyhow, when the deer, so he takes a strap and he hooks the strap around the deer, and then he hooks it to his belt loop so the deer can't take off. And so he's got the deer down there beating it with a stick over the head, and he ended up taking it to the creek and drowning it. That's the only way he could kill the damn thing because he didn't have anything with it. This guy's got a bad shoulder and a bad heart, and he's doing all this crazy stuff. I just shook my head. I'm like, really, Dave?
So he
So
gets
yeah,
There's not the only story about him going hand to hand with a deer. This guy gets
nah.
street fights with deer.
Oh yeah, all the time.
I kept
He's
telling,
killed.
I kept saying every time he told me about this guy, I'm like, man, it sounds a little psychotic. And no, he's not. He just
Maybe.
a deer. I'm like, no, it sounds a little psychotic. But after
No,
this story, James goes, yeah, I think he's psychotic.
I know we said.
Yeah, he's pretty diehard. He kills a lot of deer. He's got a lifetime license, and he fills his tags. And
But
he hunts Kentucky, and he did hunt Colorado. He said he's too old to hunt Colorado now. So just kind of crazy.
well, I
But
wish he
yeah.
had here because we need him thinned out.
Oh, Maya's wanting to show you a picture of the trails. There's a picture of all the trails we had on this lake on
You're
Lemon.
not much water left.
No, there wasn't no water. We had to erase, and Maya took a picture of it over all of our trails.
I had to find it on your freaking messenger to find it.
Yeah, you had to find it.
See, yeah, there's all the trails. They've just all over that lake. It's crazy.
Yeah, we know every inch of it, just about.
Then some.
We got so many waypoints. It ain't funny.
You guys fish a lot of different lakes in Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fish Brookville. We go out to Brookville and we go walleye fishing a lot, and we love the white bass fish out there. The white bass are really fun to catch out there, and they're better eating than the crappie in the summer because their meat stays real firm. Plus, they're bigger. So we catch a lot of white bass out there, and when we're out there, and anyhow, we go to Cataract a lot. We fish it a lot, and we fish raccoon a lot. Monroe fished it a lot. So yeah, and we fish Glendale down in southern Indiana a little bit too. So that's like one of the best red ear lakes in the state. So we do pretty good over there too.
I think red ear ounce for ounce is one of the hardest fighting fish you'll ever catch.
Yeah, those white basses, they'll give
They
you a
will
run for
wet
the
your
money. They're
pole.
pretty strong. I mean,
They
they're
take your pole out immediately.
yeah, they get 2 pounds, and you get a white bass on there 2 pounds, and they fight like a saltwater fish.
You know, I've never fished for nor caught a white bass, so I have no comparison for that. I'll take your word for it, though.
Yeah, we've got me and Maya. We read an article about a guy that made this fish call. It's called a thumper box. So I'll be daggone if me and him looked that up, and I made one out of an old car motor, like a seat motor. And what it is, it's a hammer and a block of wood, and it carries the hammer to go up and down. And I got it on a rheostat and also on a remote stop. So when you hit it, it goes thump 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 thump, and it sounds like it does when they're feeding on shad. So it calls the shad calls the white bass in. It thinks there's a feeding frenzy going on, and we used it out at Brookville. First time we used it, we were throwing flicker shad out there, and I mean, me and Maya got into those fish. They were under the boat. I mean, we caught so many. We limited out in probably less than a half an hour.
I think we were out there at midnight.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So we were fishing flicker shad.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, Sibo Art made it in. He's one of my gaming friends.
Oh, is he? That's cool.
Yeah, I invited a few of them to watch this. I see he's in here.
That's pretty cool.
Earlier, he was hitting me with this stupid rocket launcher. I was a little upset, but I didn't say anything.
I get you.
So I'm a person that he says GG. That stands for good game. For anybody that don't game, GG is for good game. It was
game.
Games, no doubt about it. It's fun. That's my life. My granddaughter, fishing, and gaming.
Yeah, that's kind of my life. Is my kids, deer hunting and fishing. That's about it. So,
Grandkid.
and my grandkid.
Funny, you didn't even mention your wife.
Well, see, that goes without saying.
Hey, there she is behind you with a hammer.
Yeah, I hear you. Nah, if it wasn't for her, I couldn't do a whole lot. She's kind of helped me since I've had my stroke. She helps me a lot. So,
Mom, you would be doing a lot.
yeah, same with Jeremiah. They helped me a lot.
Well, Brandon said he fished in a bass tournament today and came in second. Man, that sounds awesome.
That's really good.
That is good. What were they hitting on?
There you go, Brandon Looney. What were they hitting on, buddy? He may not give away his secret. He ain't like us.
That one, maybe.
I seen an old guy out on the lake yesterday. I actually was giving him lures to use.
Yeah, I know. I seen you out there doing that.
He was a nice guy. I love meeting anglers on the lake, man. They're always friendly. Not skiers and jet skiers. They're not always friendly. I've never met one I liked yet.
No, yeah, those wake boat people. They kill us in our boat. When me and Maya's out there, it's so low the water that those wake boats will put a 4-foot wave over the top of our boat.
So Brandon said they were hitting top water baits and spinner baits.
That's pretty good. What state's he in?
Brandon, what state? It'll take me a second to answer because, like I said, there's a delay between what we say and what folks out there hear. So, but no, I gave that guy I saw yesterday. I gave him two of the new lures, and you guys have heard me talk about them a lot now. The Hoosier Crappie Buster made by Rock Creek Bait Company. I came up with the color schemes and all that, and he custom made them for me. I mean, these things are they're gold. They're marabou hair jigs, and they're crazy. Oh, that's right, Brandon. You're from Nebraska because I was
Nebraska. So he's got some cold water up there right now, probably.
Yeah, because I remember yesterday I was saying when he said he was from Nebraska, and I was like, man, I don't think I've ever even watched fishing videos from Nebraska, and I made it a note to myself mentally to start looking up some Nebraska fishing videos because I don't know anything about Nebraska except that IU crushed their football team this year.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. There's really good bird hunting up there too. So
yeah, I don't know anything about Nebraska, so I can't even.
It's one of the big pheasant hunting areas in the country.
So Brandon, do you do any hunting? Any bird hunting? There's my Indiana coming out. I mean, I usually pronounce my words better. I said hunting. Hunting. Do you do any hunting? Oh my.
Hey Neil.
So James got a lab. This is an interesting story on this dog. So James, why don't you talk about your friend Neil and how
There's Neil right there.
And how you named him.
Well, my buddy, I had a buddy of mine that I used to mushroom hunt a lot with, and his name was Neil Cox. He's a legend in Brown County. him and his brother had a band called the Cox Brothers. And anyhow, I met him out online one time, kind of like I met you, and we started talking about mushroom hunting. So me and him started mushroom hunting a lot together. And he has a really hard time with had a really hard time with anxiety, really bad, and to the point to where he would go in the basement and not come out. I mean, he was agoraphobic to a point. But it was weird that he could get on stage and sing in front of thousands of people.
Now,
And
right here, I've heard.
huh?
Yeah, I just wanted to interrupt for a second. I've heard some of this guy's songs, and he actually has a had a really good talent. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a hell of a songwriter. Really good songwriter. And anyhow, he anyhow eventually he I think the depression and anxiety between the two, he ended up killing himself. And so he had a dog named Miley, and she was a Weimaraner, and she was out of Georgia. And when he passed away, his girlfriend called me and asked me if I could take Miley. So I took Miley, the Weimaraner, and anyhow, I've got a electric fence on my house, and we had the dog there. Well, she wasn't fixed, and before I know it, I had puppies. So the town marshal's got a dog, a chocolate lab, and his chocolate lab got my Weimaraner. So we had 5 puppies. So one of them I named Neil. So after Neil, since I got him, and I actually gave one of the other puppies to one of Neil's daughter. He had one daughter, and I took it over to her. They live in Bloomington, so we took it over there, and or she came got. I think I took it over there, or she came got. I don't remember which. Did she come got it? She came got it. So I told her she could have a pick of the litter since we had Miley and we got her from her. So she took the puppy, and anyhow, it was like a twin to Neil. So it was the other chocolate lab, and the other two were black labs. So, but yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, Neil was just, he was a hell of a songwriter. He was really good. He played the Bluebird a lot up in Bloomington. He played there a lot. And
So
I watched,
Neil the
huh?
dog loves crappie more than any person you'll ever meet, except maybe Jeremiah.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But Neil likes them. He likes them alive, and he likes to start with their heads and work his way down.
Yeah, he'll sit and eat 10 of them.
Well, 30 if you want him.
Yeah, the most he ever ate one time was what, 20 or 30? He ate 30 one day. He ate 30 crappie and a Big Mac.
So yeah, so Brandon said that the hunting in Nebraska. Yeah, he said. Oh, let's see. He said good duck hunting, deer hunting, pheasant hunting. He tagged out this year for deer. He killed 3 does and 2 bucks this year, so he's all tagged out. That's
He's doing better than us. We just gun season just started here the weekend,
well.
so
If you don't quit honking your damn horns at the deer, you won't get any.
that's true.
That's just the most unusual deer hunting tactic I've ever heard of.
Yeah, you're right. We'll get more into it as the weather gets colder. The deer start moving more, so they're in the rut. And I think a lot of them right now, the bucks are kind of locked down with the does, and they're not moving as much as they were. So
Maybe you need a bigger horn,
yeah, I need a bigger horn.
a louder horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like a
I've
deer.
heard rattling antlers to get their attention, but honking horns, I just never. Yeah, there he's showing off now.
Well, if you look, it's not like I don't have no head. So
You don't have no head.
yeah, I hear you. It's not like I don't have. Yeah, it's not like I don't have no deer heads on the wall. So I've got baskets of racks. So
If Brandon said he killed his with a bow, James used to bow hunt, didn't you?
yeah, I used to. Since I've had the stroke, I don't do it as much anymore. So
I used
kind of
to.
harder for me.
I used to shoot a bow. I did 3D shoots. I went hunting a few times and didn't really ever kill anything, but I enjoyed the 3D shoots.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. 3D shooting. I had a lot of friends that did it. That were some of them hunted and some of them didn't. So
The ones that all shot with me, they were all hunters, successful hunters. They were actually, I was okay with a bow, but these guys were all, at the end of the shoots, they'd always be in the shoot offs and stuff because they'd score perfect scores on the day.
that's
That
pretty good. Yeah, I knew some people like that. I had some friends that was like that. They would hunt out at. I think there's one called White Lick or Archery. Have you ever heard of that place? White.
Mm,
They used to have all their 3D shoots out there. I think it's over in Morgan County, if I remember right.
okay. I've probably been there. It's been so long ago that I don't remember.
Yeah, it's probably been 24 years since, I've been around those people. 24, 25 years, so it's been a long time ago.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a long time ago for me. I kind of wish I still had my bow and a setup to target shoot. But when I got out of it, I gave everything to my nephew, and I've never wanted to reinvest the money in it. But I wish I still had the stuff.
Yeah, I've got a Matthews in the closet in there that I bought one of the first Matthews bows that come out back in like the early 90s. I think it's called an Ultramax. And I bet I killed 35, 40 deer with that bow. And I never got rid of it. I still got it. So that's what I hunted with for a long time.
So you got the crossbow.
He's saying that he does a lot of bow competitions, so he really loves his bow, and he's originally from Georgia.
That's pretty cool. That's where Miley was from. She was from Georgia. She's from just south of Atlanta on a plantation down there, a quail plantation.
There's such a thing as a quail plantation.
Yep, there's plantations down there, and they got quail hunting all over around there, and they're just huge fields. They hunt on horseback down there. Hunt
Horseback,
quail.
England or something.
Yeah, they hunt quail on horseback. Is how they do it. A lot of people do down there.
Well, all right. I've never tasted quail, but I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, they're good. They're little. They're not real. They're just a big chunk of white meat.
Well, there you go.
Quail.
I've never tasted quail. I guess I've never. I figure if I might eat a bird, it's just going to be chicken or turkey.
There you go. They're good though.
I mean, there's a reason that chickens were made so they can't really fly, and that's because they taste so good. Makes them catch.
Yeah, that's true.
Turkeys as well.
Oh yeah.
I spent a few months in Atlanta when I was younger. I had a friend that lived there, and I went up there to do a job for a few months. But man, I couldn't stand the traffic, Brandon. It was awful.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
Atlanta sucks.
Miles per hour, bumper to bumper, and people.
Yep, Atlanta sucks.
Yeah, the only time it's good to go through Atlanta is on Christmas Eve, and no one's there. Or Christmas night.
Well, I'm surprised your reindeer and sleigh have any problems with Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah.
So, does he look more like Santa Claus or Colonel Sanders? He claims a resemblance to both.
Yeah. Everybody called me the Colonel.
Actually, you remember the Rudolph cartoon?
Yeah.
You remember the narrator in that, the little snowman guy?
Burl Ives.
Well, that's who did the voice, but you just remember the character, right?
Yep.
Well, that's
That
who
snowman.
you look like, that little snowman.
There you go. Silver and gold.
No, you're thinking Yukon Cornelius.
Well, yeah, that's right. Hell, I know it's been so long. Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm thinking of the narrator.
Narrator. Yeah, I don't remember.
Mr. Fizz, hello. Got somebody else just joined in.
Hello.
We've had an audience steadily. I mean, not a lot of people, but I've enjoyed watching the chat, except for the couple of trolls. But I dealt with those.
Yeah. I don't understand the one. That was kind of crazy.
Well, you just get people that just come in, and because they're behind a keyboard, they just can't help themselves. There you go. Brandon said you're Colonel Sanders.
I like chicken.
Well, I tell you what, it's a hard thing not to like chicken.
Yeah.
I still want I'm gonna just to verify, I'm gonna look up a picture of that narrator and Rudolph, because I'm pretty sure that's who you look like.
I'd be a better Colonel Sanders than Norm Macdonald was.
Yeah, they did a whole bunch of those commercials, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Let's see if I can the living snowman. That's what I want to look up. I'm pretty sure that's who you look like.
You're killing me.
Yep, by golly. I'm gonna prove it.
You gonna prove it.
I am gonna prove it right now. I'm gonna show everybody exactly what I mean. Let me get the good
The
image.
hell is that?
What?
Oh.
It's just the people showing up.
Oh, damn it. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
What?
What in the world is that about?
Well, man, if I could get the right. Let's see. I do believe people are going to agree with me. Here you go, folks. Tell me that this doesn't look like James. Right, James? Tell me he's not the living snowman from Rudolph. He is.
Oh, that's killer.
That's who you look like to me. Well, your neighbor's been sneaking into your bed.
That's scary.
Said, what in the world?
That's what I said. What in the world is that about? I like your bed. Very comfy. What in the world?
Oh, nice. No. Well, Mr. Fizz, you're throwing me off base. I mean, I think I smell nice, yes.
Yeah, he's talking about being in there in his neighbor's bedroom.
Hey, what's that, James?
He's talking about being in his neighbor's bed.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, so.
I don't know what that. I read that. I was like, what in the world is that all about?
Because, okay, I get it now. This one person said, why does my side of the bed smell like my neighbor's cologne?
Yeah. That's kind of odd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, now I realize who Mr. Fizz is. I realize it from the smoke and DMT comment.
What's that mean?
You know what DMT is?
No, don't know what that is.
That's a drug.
Oh, is it?
It lets you see God.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
Like
Apparently.
mushrooms?
Well, yeah, probably. I've never had either one. So, like I told you, I'm very straight-laced.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against stuff. I just don't like. I kind of don't want to lose track of reality.
I get you. Can't fish when you're like that.
Well, I mean, you could.
You wouldn't catch no fish.
I'm not sure if you come back from it.
Yeah, I don't know. You had that one buddy that was down there that used to do a lot of it. So
One buddy that used to do a lot of it.
Used to smoke a lot of weed out on the lake bass fishing.
Yes, he did do that. That's why
he catches a lot of fish.
That's why I didn't want to be my friend anymore. Is because I was going to call a DNR on some people out there breaking rules, and he felt like I was interrupting with his good space.
I get you.
And I was like, man, I'm not calling him on you, but that was the end of that. He hated that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's not the only person that's ever hated on me.
No.
It was too bad. Friends, I hated to see it go away, but sooner or later, the way he was behaving, it was going to go bad anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not important. Anyway, so yeah, now I'm realizing who some of these people are. Yeah, see, Bo, Doom is enough. You're right. That's my drug, is playing Doom and shooting aliens and getting shot up by rocket launch, you dirty bitch. James, where'd you go? There you are.
I'm there.
Anyway, so this was story time with James. I'm going to cut this out. I need to go make some cheeseburgers because I'm hungry. But we'll do this again real soon. And this next time, I'll make sure and make a note of some stories because this guy's got millions of them. I'm telling you, honestly, you guys never met him by quite like him. But so that's it. I'm gonna close it out. Everybody, tight lines, fair fishing. Have a great night, James. Thanks a lot, man. I always enjoy talking with you. And we need to get you a fishing channel going too. These folks need to get some of your insight and some of your humor.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, everybody. Tight lines. Good night.
Right. Bye.